Last time we read, Ivy and Bean escaped getting in trouble, didn't they? And they kind of the teacher talked a little bit about what it meant to have a big imagination. So let's see what the girls are up to this time. Chapter 6, No More Nonsense. Ivy wasn't exactly crying, but her eyes were glittery. She still likes you, Bean said. Really, she does. Ivy shook her head. They were supposed to be walking home, but Ivy kept stopping. She felt too awful to walk. Why don't you just say that the bathroom wasn't haunted? Asked Bean. Grown-ups never like that kind of stuff. But it is haunted, Ivy said, and I'm the one who said it was. Okay, Bean said, but you didn't have to tell them everything. I didn't think Miss Aruba Tate would get mad at me. She's not mad at you, said Bean. She is mad at me, said Ivy in a choked voice. She hates me. No, she likes you because you know all the answers, Bean said. Ivy didn't say anything, but she started walking again. Ivy's in trouble, sang a voice behind them. Bean whirled around. Why don't you shut up, Leo? That's not very nice. Hey, said Leo, surprised. That's mean. Go away, Bean said. She wished she had some plums. I live on the street, you doof. Leo picked up a rock and threw it at a tree. I heard you got sent to the principal's, he said to Ivy. I did not, yelled Ivy. She stuck her tongue out at Leo. Geez, said Leo, if there is a ghost, your ugly face will scare him back to his grave. Ivy stopped sticking out her tongue. Oh, she said, Bean, that's what we have to do. What? Said Bean. We've got to send it back to the grave, said Ivy. We need to expel it. Expel? Like Cody? Cody had lit 2 garbage cans on fire and wasn't allowed to come back to school anymore. He was expelled. Yeah, like Cody, said Ivy. That'll fix everything. How are you going to expel a ghost? Leo asked. Oh, they had forgotten he was there. Secret, said Ivy and Bean at the same moment. They looked at each other and smiled. Oh, come on, said Leo. I won't tell. Can't, said Ivy as she started to walk away. Leo looked glum. Bean felt sorry for him. Oh, I'll tell you afterward. Oh, thanks, he said. Bean turned and raced to catch up with Ivy, who was halfway up the street. And we're going to read one more chapter, which is called The Potion Solution. This is going to be great, said Bean happily. She just loved potions. The 2 girls were in Ivy's magic lab. The magic lab was one of the 5 little rooms that Ivy had made inside her bedroom. Chalk lines on the floor showed where one room ended and another began. There was an art studio, a living room, a doll room, a sleeping area, and the lab. Bean's favorite was the art studio, with its little white table and stack of bins filled with markers, glitter glue, pipe cleaners, beads, colored paper, feathers, and paint. The magic lab was Ivy's favorite. In it was a bookshelf that held a shiny black rock, 4 fossils, a real snakeskin, lots of bottles in all shapes and sizes, and jars of herbs and ingredients. Ivy loved to say, ingredients. There was another table, which Ivy had covered in tinfoil. On top was a plastic tub of water Ivy Ivy had wanted a sink, but her mother had said no way. So Ivy filled the plastic tub in the bathroom and carried it back to her lab. It spilled a lot. Ivy took her magic book from its special hiding place and began flipping through the pages. There's got to be a potion in here somewhere, she said, frowning. And then she giggled. Here's one for making someone fall in love with you. Bean made a throwing up sound. Oh, here's one for getting your money back after it's stolen. That's not it, said Bean, sticking her hand in the water tub. Some water spilled onto the floor. I know, said Ivy, still flipping pages. But I don't see. Oh, here's another one for making someone fall in love with you. That's dumb. How come there's nothing for returning a ghost to its grave? There should be, said Bean. Most people don't want ghosts hanging around their house. Ivy looked up from her book. I wouldn't mind. What if it creaked open your closet door in the middle of the night? Asked Bean, and you couldn't hear it breathe, and you could hear it breathing. Ivy thought. I talked to it. My grandma's cousin lived in a house with a ghost that whistled. My grandma said that when she was a girl, she always heard a ghost whistling upstairs when she went to play at her cousin's. I'd freak. Was she scared? Asked Bean. Grandma says the only thing she's scared of is chickens, but I think she's joking. I wish I'd been there, said Ivy. I would have asked it why it was haunting the house. Bean stared at her hand in the water tub. It looked ghostly. I bet ghosts are scared of themselves. It must be weird to look down and see through yourself. Ivy looked at her. Maybe. Maybe Grandma's ghost whistled because it was trying to cheer itself up. She went back to looking at her book, and the magic lab was quiet. For a minute or two. Hey, she said suddenly, here's something that could work. It's a potion that you pour in front of your house to keep evil spirits away. Bean was feeling sorry for the ghost now. But it's not an evil spirit, she argued. It just wants the school to get off its grave. The ghost was there first. Come on. Come, first serve. Yeah, you're right, Ivy agreed. But the ghost has to go, Miss Aruba Tate said. And besides, we'll be doing a good deed for the ghost. In a way, don't you think it would rather be in its grave? Bean thought, I guess so. That bathroom is nasty. Right. So here's what we'll do. Ivy leaned over the tin foil. We'll make a ceremony. We'll tell it that we know it's not evil. We'll tell it that we just want it to rest in peacefully. We'll tell it that we come as friends, Bean said, bouncing in her chair. We could chant, said Ivy. We come as friends, she chanted. We come in peace, chanted Bean. A dance might be good too, she added. Once it goes back to its grave, we'll pour the potion around the edges of the bathroom so it can't come back, Ivy said. Sounds good, said Bean. She thought for a minute. Hey, I have an idea. You know the Egyptians? Ivy nodded. Yeah? They used to put presents in the grave with a dead person, stuff to play with, and money. We should do that. Presents would make the ceremony even better. Presents, Ivy repeated. That's a great idea. It'll be like an ancient burial. Suddenly she stood up. But first, we need to make the potion. So next time we read the book, we will find out what happens with the potion and what will happen next. Stay tuned.